What's up, my guys? What's up, my girls? Welcome back to the Dani Flo Podcast. I'm your boy, Dani Flo. This is the podcast where I share my philosophy of life with you. I've done episodes on faith. I've done episodes on fitness, family, fatherhood. Fatherhood is a huge one for me. I've also done more philosophical topics like pragmatism, but I do topics that are significant to me, that bring meaning and purpose and value to my life. And one of those things is music. I think I'm a little bit of an anomaly because I primarily speak English, but I actually used to be in a Mexican band. I have one of our posters here from one of our gigs from like this. It looks like it was New Year's 2010. So it's been a long time since I stopped kind of living that life. This episode is going to be kind of in Spanglish because we are going to talk about regional Mexican music, but it should be a lot of fun. And actually, some of you probably found me because of a video that I uploaded when I serenaded my wife back when she was my girlfriend with the old band that I used to play with, Banda Caliente. For her, let's see, this was 5 years ago, so 2015. So for her 23rd birthday, le llevé serenata, and I called the police, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about serenading my girlfriend. Like, what do I need to do to get permission so that I don't get the cops called on me? And they said, there's nothing you can do except go to your neighbors and tell them what you're going to do. That way they don't call us and we don't answer the call, because if we get a noise complaint, we're going to go and shut it down. But as long as we don't get a noise complaint, you're good. So I coordinated with my cuñada when my wife wasn't going to, I mean, at the time she was my girlfriend, this was 5 years ago. I coordinated with her and I was like, hey, let me know when she's not going to be home. I'm going to go ask the neighbors. And the police officer that I spoke to, he was like, "What do you mean serenade? Like a mariachi?" And I was like, "No, bro. Like this is way louder than that. Like you don't understand." So I knocked, bro, on like all her block, the one behind her and the one in front of her. I like knocked in every house, and I was like, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is the
Wow,
day." And
bro.
they were like, "Yeah, go for it." And there was one house, bro, where la la hija, like the daughter of del señor, like she answered, and I was like, hey, like I want to talk to the homeowner. It's like, oh, that's my dad. And he said something like, oh, I don't want to come to the door, like what does he want? And I was like explaining to her like, well, it's gonna be my girlfriend's birthday and I'm gonna serenade her, like it's gonna be really loud, and I just need like 30 minutes, like, and don't call the cops. And desde atrás el señor was like, you go, man, you do that thing or something like that. It was really funny. But yeah, that I could go on and on about that. But Rob is from Escuela de Rancho. It's a band from Chicago. I'm 2 hours west of Chicago, so that's how I'm familiar with it. And I've invited him on here to talk about music because I love this genre. So, Robert, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, no, yeah. Well, first of all, man, thanks for the invitation, bro. Ever since you told me about that you wanted to interview us, and I was excited, and especially with this whole new platform,
Mhm.
the podcast deal and everything, and I've been seeing you've been going at it. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited, and thank you. I want to thank you for that opportunity and just to talk to your followers and your people. So man, thanks a lot, man. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited
no problem. I really appreciate your time.
for sure, man, for sure, for sure. So how long did you play with Caliente?
Okay,
Eh,
let's talk about this. So I'm 28, bro, and I started I started playing with Caliente when I was 16 years old.
oh shit.
Cumplí años with Banda Caliente on stage. Like,
I,
oh man, I was living the dream, bro. And me salí when I had like just turned 18. Like I had just turned 18, not that
uh,
long, and I just started working, and
oh,
just I went a different way.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, I know we've played together, or we used to play. We played together with and I know this guy. ¿Cómo se llama? Tomás. Is
Yep,
this Tomás?
Tomás
Yeah,
Hassel.
but you guys, since you guys are from the Rockford area,
Mhm,
we hardly or we rarely come
mhm.
across each other. But I don't remember. I don't remember you. What did you play? You sang or you played?
No, I played la tambora.
Tamora, right? Yeah.
When I was in middle school, bro, I played the slide trombone.
Okay.
The slide trombone, and so I did 3 years. I did sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, and then when I went to high school, I quit. And back then, bro, I didn't know a lot about music, like not like music, like Mexican music.
Right,
I
right,
was
right.
I was into rap and things like that. I got into music, believe it or not. And growing up, I listened to like music, but um, believe it or not, I got into music because of Duranguense.
No way.
That yeah, that was like that. When I heard Duranguense, I thought it was the best thing ever.
You were like, wow.
That's
Uh,
how but and then from there I went evolving, evolving, evolving until like today. Like now I like it all. Like before I feel like I was a little bit of a snob, bro. Like
right, right.
I didn't like the old stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like the let me give you an example. Like I guess like Miguel y Miguel,
Okay.
like because the way that I explained it to people, I said, well, I was like, one of the cool things about our genre is that it's a bunch of covers. Like these songs are old, like our parents used to listen to our song, our grandparents, and the new guys they like come out with them in their own style, and
Yeah.
sometimes like they're better. I said not every time, but sometimes they're
Right.
better. Like all the songs that you guys play, like my tios and like my tías and my mom, they're like, mijo, esas canciones tienen desde, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it's cool. It's like to me, it's like it's like almost like a language.
Yeah.
Like we're speaking the same language, even though I didn't grow up where they grew up, and the song doesn't mean the same thing, and they like their version better than the new version, but we still have that connection.
You know. Hell
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
bro. Tell you, man. Um, la verdad. I mean, music is just like it's so it's so in our culture that is that
Mhm.
that happens. Like we have at Escuela de Rancho we have like an older more ranchero style. So we when we first started, that's what we started playing. We started playing the old school rancheras, and we would play like for example, I don't know if you heard of Delante de Mi. Delante de Mi is super old, bro. I'm talking about I think I kind of made some research, bro, and it goes back to 1950s or so. I mean,
Mhm.
that's back in the day. So that's pretty much like that's another whole different generation
Mhm.
that it was popular back in the day, and then years passed, and I heard it back in the 2000s with Banda Recodo.
Mhm.
That's where I heard it first.
Mhm.
But and then when the Escuela started, we took it out again, and
Mhm.
and and along with a lot of other songs. I think
Mhm.
one of the I think the similar thing is happening with Los Carnales.
Mhm.
Um, you heard of Los Carnales?
I was just so that's before I lose this, when I heard Delante de Mi with like your version, like
Uh,
I knew it was special, bro. I just knew it was special, like because I had the same experience as you. Like I
yeah,
heard Delante de Mi with El Recodo, and like
right.
you said, that song is even older than them. Like that's
Yeah,
their cover version of it. And I was like, yeah, this song, like I like it. Me gusta like la letra, right? And but when you like, and I'm gonna like nerd out, like some people probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but like when I heard you guys do it, y tenía más like ritmo, and it was like dos por cuatro instead of tres por cuatro. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like like más bailable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I was like, this is the like, and for a long time, bro, that CD in el recreo, what's it called, receso
Right, right,
recreo,
right. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
couldn't bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I couldn't find that CD like anywhere, and like I found it in this weird like blog, and I downloaded it, bro.
What the?
just because I wanted to like listen to that song, and then eventually you guys released it somewhere, and I was able to get it that way. But because I think at the time it was only like on YouTube
Yeah, it
or
was weird back in the day. You know, it was either physical CDs or it was like like YouTube. That was it. That was
hmm
it. It wasn't. You know what? We bro, that was our first pretty much recording
hmm
with the band, and I was listening to it not so long ago, and it's just weird. Like Omar's voice is just, you know, you could tell he's like super young, and
hmm
it was a whole different deal. You know, it was uh, back then it was we recorded that when we didn't have a drummer. We didn't have a drummer, and it
hmm
was just borrowed. It was like a norteño type of thing. It was just accordion, uh, tuba, and bajo sexto,
hmm
and when it was Omar, and then we recorded that in my basement. I remember it was just like a hey, let's do like a live session, or like a live recording. So we recorded it in my basement, and I remember it felt kind of like, since we didn't have a drummer, it felt
hmm
kind of like dry, and I was like, man,
hmm
what should we do? So I was like, oh well, then let's add a little tarolita, like a little chirrin type of
hmm
thing, and we did. We added it, we recorded it, we dubbed it afterwards, and yeah, bro, I mean, we did it. We just recorded it, and we recorded a bunch of cool songs, like older songs.
hmm
We recorded like El Seriazo, Delante de Mí was there, Playa Sola, you know, old songs, old classics.
hmm
But we brought them back, in our style. And honestly, bro, it was like I was listening to it and it sucks, bro. It sucks.
um well, like me, I like it, but so in my opinion, sorry for interrupting, but sorry, the only song from Escuela de Rancho that's better for me than like that one is the new one with Delante de Mi and Maria de la Luz, because Maria de la Luz is
Mhm.
another one from Chalino,
Yup.
that's in 3x4, and like when I heard it, I'm like, oh yeah, this, like, I like the lyrics, right? But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really like the style.
A little slow, a little slow,
Yeah, and
right?
when
Yeah.
you guys came out with that song, man, I think bro, in my Spotify, my 2019, that was my number one song that it was on repeat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. But back to your también before I lose it. Yeah, the guy. So I started out playing in a duranguense when I was 15 years old,
Mhm.
and then I went to a tamborazo uh, with uh, with a guy that's married to my cousin, and him and I were just talking about Los Carnales around, man, when was it? Had to have been like maybe 2 months ago, and he was telling me that they're like composers, no?
Well, I think they do compose. Yes, they do compose. But where I was going is that they have this whole Cadete de Linares style and the whole
hmm
norteño style, and that
hmm
sound that sound where like you hear it, and it's like it just takes you back to like the 90s and stuff. Growing
hmm
up, it takes you back to the 80s where the pops were listening to, and the songs, and just the little tarolita. Like
hmm
I know, like pay attention to it, and
hmm
you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But the little sound, the little tarolita, even the voices, they're really
hmm
similar to that whole Cadete de Linares sound. And like I said, boy, it just takes you back, and it's like, oh shit, you know?
Do you feel like I'm gonna get a little bit personal. So like my favorite song of all time, bro. Like when I would play this song con la caliente,
Mhm.
like I would get goosebumps, like se me enchina la piel, Mi ranchito, bro. I love that song.
Oh
But
yeah.
but like here's where I'm going with this. It's talking about stuff that I didn't even live, right? Like
Right.
I was born 2 hours west of this is a town, this is a city. Or like there's parts that are kind of like, yeah, you can have a farm, you can have a ranch, like on the outskirts, but like my parents brought me here. This is where I was born. This is where I was raised. When I listen to that song, I feel like it takes me out
Yeah.
of and it puts me there.
Yeah,
And
for sure,
you know
bro.
what I mean? And it's something like in English, there's this word ineffable. Like ineffable means like you can't put it into words. That's how I feel about that. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how to put it into words. Like and some of my uncles they're like, why do you like these songs? Like you don't
Yeah.
even know. And I was like, I don't know. Like I don't do you get what I mean? Like and I think that's what you're talking about with
Yeah.
los carnales.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's weird, bro. Like I'm the same way. Like mi ranchito, like with Coyote. Like that's the first time I heard it. And I was like, what? What is this? You know? Like
The trumpets.
it's just I don't know, bro. It's badass, bro. Like, and you're right, bro. Like, we don't know shit about mountains, and we don't
Mm-mm.
know, you know what I mean? Like, it's a but as soon as you listen to it, like I think it's just so authentic, and
Hmm.
it just takes you there, bro. Like, I don't know, like yeah, I'm a nerd like that too, bro. Like I think music is just it's crazy, bro. Like it's crazy. I don't know, like can't even explain it. Like you said,
I
you
can't
said.
I can't like I don't have the like I was saying I on my day-to-day life I speak English and everything like that, but I don't have I don't have it's like it's not even close. Like when I listen to music in English, it never makes me feel like when I listen to Mi Ranchito, when I listen to Delante de mí, María de la Luz, La Fe Perdida, like all these songs, if like it almost feels like to be honest, it almost feels like they were written for me. Like
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I agree, man. I agree. There's songs that is just yeah, bro, just take it to another level. And then and this is cool, bro, because look at you as a musician. All right, it's the music and dopamine shooting and everything, right? Okay, but now at this, you as a musician, bro, and playing those songs, bro.
Yeah, it's
God, bro, that's the
um
best. That's the best satisfaction for me, bro. Honestly, bro.
so I never finished telling you. This is supposed to be like more about Escuela de Rancho. It's turning out to be more about me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but
Oh, that's
I'm
cool,
like,
man.
I don't have these conversations every day, which is like what you said at the beginning. Why this platform is like so cool because
Yeah, bro.
now you can have these kind of conversations.
Oh,
Um, so I play tambora, bro. When I found out about the tambora, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like
okay.
it's like you were just saying. I was just thinking about this because it's like you were saying like these songs, you love these songs, and then when you get to play these songs, it's so I was watching an interview on YouTube with I think his name is Pupilo, the trombone player from El Recodo,
Okay, 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 okay.
and like they were interviewing him, and he was saying he was like telling them about himself. He's like, oh, he's like, I play the trombone, and when I'm on stage playing the trombone, he's like, I'm the happiest man alive. And that's what like when I started playing the tambora, bro, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like it was something that I was like, I didn't even, and it's funny too because when I started when I was 15, like I started with a whole bunch of older guys, and they were like kind of like, let's make some money,
Okay.
and I had planned on doing it for free. You know,
Right.
I was like,
Yeah, you do it just for the passion, you
oh,
do. Yeah.
mhm. But you never finished telling us about yourself, bro. We started nerding out, and we,
Nah, bro. Fuck that. Let's talk about Recodo. Nah.
yeah, yeah, for real. Let's talk about so uh, okay, let's start at the beginning. So, when did you realize that? Because, like I said, growing up, there's those memes, right? Like when you grew up, you knew it was time to vacuum because your mom was playing chente, right? And like growing up, like I would listen to the songs and I'd be like, what's the big deal, you know? But it was because of the style, I think. Because if you look at the words that Chente wrote, you're like, this is badass, right?
Yeah.
But then you don't like the style. So like I said, for me, it was like duranguense, like the
Yeah.
Montes era where they were first coming up, Horoscopos, Capaz, Patrulla 81, what else? Braceros, bro. When I heard, we were just talking about this on your Instagram. When I heard that, um, and by the way, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot my shot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. So there that that song, Las Isabeles, in
Yeah.
that album with Braceros, they have another song called El Errante, but it's not the same. It's not the same. There's two different. There's Paloma Errante, and this one is called El Errante, like como no soy pajarito. Na, tara, tara, tara. I've never heard that song again, bro. I've never, and I love that song. I've never.
Yeah,
Nobody has done another cover since Braceros,
I remember that, bro. I
and
remember.
you should do that cover, bro.
Yeah,
Like ven, querida, ven.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ya
And
estarás.
it's
Ah,
the same,
yeah.
same.
Oh no, El Errante is like Do you know who did I think segunda voz on that? Um, Alfredo, who used to be in Montes, who then went to Creadores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think it
Oh,
was. I think it was him. The singer. What's the singer's name? Chuma or Chema? Uh, very,
no,
very.
Chema
Ye-
was Alacranes.
okay, no, no, no. I'm getting
Oh,
him.
but this guy, Braceros will be what's this guy's name?
Very
Uh,
unique voice, like
Chepe,
Omar. Yeah,
Chepe, no?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Chepe.
that song is. I love that song, bro. Well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that whole first album, in my opinion, I'm not trying to like diss them, but it
Yeah, yeah.
never got better than that album. That
Oh,
album is a classic.
yeah, but no, it's because I remember when Braceros popped out. You remember they were Llaneros before Braceros.
I don't remember that.
Well, right before they were Braceros, they were called Llaneros. So
Mm,
it was the same guys. I don't know why they changed the name or what, but I remember it was they were super young, bro. They were super young. And
mm-hmm.
this guy sang. You know, he still had a cool voice, and a really distinct voice. And they were young and they played other bangers, and you know, and they were doing
The little tamborero. They had the little tamborero with
up.
the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I remember from there. Tutti, you know Tutti. Tutti,
Was it the guy with the?
yeah,
I think
he
that
did
he would like.
trombone. He did keyboards, and he was there. And then Copaste Alex, I think he was tamborero. I
Mm-hmm.
think Alex was the tamborero, and he would well. And then but yeah, I remember when they came out and they were popping. They were young and they were, you know, they were coming up. And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, you know, they since the whole, you know, they all signed and stuff. They all started signing. They started going, and then I remember they were up there too. They were up there too, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the company or what it was, but they kind of took a different route, you know,
Mm-hmm.
as a because I think they could have been like a Montes. They could have been
Yeah,
like, you know, Alacanes. They had the talent. They had, you know, but it's hard, bro. The music business is
it's
hard.
hard. It's very hard. But look up that song, bro, and
Yeah, I remember it. I remember. I think that was one of those songs that all of the Duranguenses were playing. Do you
you
remember? Well,
that one, bro. Like honestly, not that one. That's why to me that song is like I can't believe that they haven't. A lot of people come out with like Paloma Errante,
yeah.
but this one I have. That's what that was the title of the album too, El Errante,
Oh, shoot.
and
Okay.
I can't remember the I can't remember like the lyrics right now. I'm like drawing a blank,
Yeah.
but I mean that like back in the day that was on repeat for
Yeah.
me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No. Isabeles
Listen,
was and is a banger, bro. Yeah.
that okay.
Yeah.
They had good songs. They had that
Yeah.
one. They had
Like,
Vuelve Gaviota, like
oh
Vuelve
yeah.
Gaviota. Yeah,
Uh,
like all that song. But bro, tell me. So like, when did you know? When were you like? When were you like? I wanna play music.
man, bro. Honestly, I was in kindergarten. I think it
Nice.
was even less, bro. Even I mean even younger. I'm sorry, even younger because I remember I would grab my sister's combs and I would play drums.
Hmm.
And that was before kindergarten. I remember in kindergarten I told one of my classmates that I played in the band.
Hmm.
That I would on the weekends I would go. bro, I was 5 years old. I don't know, for some reason I was already, like,
Mm-hmm.
that was my thing, and I always liked that. My sister were well, my sister, she would listen to um like cumbia, like Liberacion back in the day and stuff like that. And I would like it. I tell you, I would grab the drums,
Mm-hmm.
dun, dun, all that, all
Mm-hmm.
that, the cumbia stuff, the romantic stuff that my sister would listen to. I would listen to it and I would jam to it. And everything. And then I remember my other sister, she would listen to New Kids on the Block. I thought it was like the best thing ever, but like, what, they're dancing, cooking, and look at these concerts and this and that, and she had the whole, she was a big fan, back in the New Kids on the Block are.
Well, I heard of them like I heard of them back when like VH1 and MTV used to do like they used to kind of do stories
Okay,
on bands from like
right.
back in the day, and yeah, that's when I like heard about them.
Yeah, well, they were from the '90s, I believe, and it was a big boy band,
Hmm.
It was a big phase, and it was just they were hot, they were super hot. So, but answering your question, bro, I must have been, I don't know, 4 or even younger when I would jam already. And
Yeah,
telling you,
man. That.
I was in kindergarten and I told this girl that I would go play, my
Hmm.
classmate, that I would go play
Man, see,
with
that's ahora sí como dicen like desde
her,
la
bro.
cuna. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, like
it was
that's.
weird, bro. It's weird. And then so yeah, man, ever since then I would watch, bands and listen to music and
Mhm.
you remember Furia Musical?
Furia Musical. Were
Yeah.
they also no, Furia is a
Furia
norteño?
Musical, it was a magazine, but they would
Oh
do,
yeah, yeah, I do
yeah,
remember that.
it was a magazine.
Yeah.
See the farandula and stuff like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
about, the regional Mexican and stuff, and different bands, and they would do like awards, Furia Musical awards, and this and that. Man, do you remember? You have to remember El Show de Juan Contreras.
No,
No,
bro. Mm-mm.
no. Okay, well, that Show de Juan Contreras was a local channel. He was a local. It was a local show, and he would interview bands that came
Uh-huh.
to Aragon, Anfiteatro back in the
Yeah.
day, and what was it called? Garibaldi. So he was
Uh-huh.
always there. He was like Chicago's uh like Johnny Canales. Johnny
Mm-hmm.
Canales is like he would interview bands, and then he started playing them. He started recording it, and then they would play live, like their shows. He would he would
Mm-hmm.
he would air them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, to me, bro. That was my YouTube, man. That was my YouTube. That's how I would sit there for hours, and my mom still has tapes because I would record the sessions. They
Mm-hmm.
would come out Saturdays at 12:30,
Mm-hmm.
channel 23. I'm telling you, it was a local channel. It was from 12:30 to like 2:30, and then it went on to like 4:30 or so. But it was like just 2-3 hours of bands that came to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so Banda Machos would come out. That's where I saw Banda Recodo for the
Mm-hmm.
first couple times. And all the bands that would come, he would interview them, and he would air like 2-3 songs at the events.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my YouTube, bro. I remember I had the tapes, and I would review them, bro. Like songs, I would watch them all day, bro. Just watch them, the taroleros and the tamboreros, and I was just there,
Mm-hmm.
just and that. I mean, bro, it was badass, bro, because I would like literally sit there like all day and just
Mm-hmm.
watch what he would do and imitate, and you know what I mean, like. And I would do that, and that was I called it my YouTube, because I would research stuff, and it was badass, bro. Like, ever since I was super young, bro. I always wanted to play in a band, and
Mm-hmm.
um, out of it. This is another crazy part. Like, my neighbor slash best friend, he started playing in a band.
Mm-hmm.
He would play trumpet,
Mm-hmm.
and he got me in there. What are the odds, bro? I
Yeah,
always,
that's.
I always wanted to be a musician, and then my neighbor, he becomes a musician and starts
Mm-hmm.
playing in a band. since we were like buddies and stuff, and I was always with him, and we would always hang out and stuff. So he pretty much got me into music, and well, we were bandmates and we were neighbors, and we would jam and we would practice all day, and it was the best, bro. It was badass.
That's
And then so I was there. I joined the band. He took me into the band. I played. I was a loader at first. I would help him with the stuff and the speakers and stuff, and then I started playing some percussion, and then
did you start with batería or tarolas?
no, I actually there in that band I would play this. It wasn't the box. It was like it was percussion, but it was electric.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're talking about it's almost like on a frame.
yeah,
Y tiene
yeah,
un sincero. It's got a cowbell and like some it looks like black pads,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they're connected just, yeah.
Yeah, they're like rolling or something. I
Hmm.
remember, and you connect them. Obviously you connect them, and their sounds, the percussion sounds. So then I started with that. And then yes, I would add like cowbell cymbals, and I added and I was just jam. I was
Hmm.
just jam and the cumbias, and then that's when I started playing accordion. That was actually that was my second instrument because I started playing
Hmm.
saxophone in fifth grade, because of the bandas,
Hmm.
because of the techno bandas, banda maguey, banda machos, and all that techno banda stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll pick up the saxophone. I thought it was really cool when they would wear their hats, and then just they would play,
Hmm.
and then that was better. So that's why I chose the saxophone in band.
Isn't that another interesting thing? Like, bro, when I was a tamborero and and I played in a tamborazo and then I played in banda caliente, and I mean we had back in that day, bro, like let's see, 16, 17, I'm 28 right now, 11 years ago. Back in the day was había mucho trabajo. You know what I mean? Like there'd be quinceañeras, bautizos, like bailes. Like it was great, and it was rare that we didn't have like a gig. But even when we didn't have a gig, we'd go to other people's gigs, and like instead of chasing like girls, bro. I mean, I liked girls, but instead of chasing them, bro, like I would get by the stage and I would watch other tamboreros,
Yep.
and I would watch them and I would study them, and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's cool when they hit it like this, or like
Yeah.
adornear diferente con
With the symbol.
con el plato, and yeah, with the symbol, like, and if I like their stuff, I would try to do it like them, and
Yep.
do you know what I mean? And like,
Well, that's the cool. Sorry, bro. That's the cool thing about music, bro. Like it's you know, to a certain point, you're a fan. You're a fan of, or you're there watching, see what he does. Oh, look at what this guy does. Like
mhm,
especially like if you have a friend or something, like oh, like you guys are nerds, together. Like
mhm,
oh yeah, you saw what Hokoki did this. Dang, you saw Rico's new outfits, or you saw what I
mhm.
mean? Like that's I think that's super cool about music, where it's like it's about the music, and it's about just being a fan too.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's pretty
Yeah, yeah. So
weird,
then, so you started out with playing that little, like
right?
electronic percussion, and then you moved on to like what, tarolas, bateria,
No,
oh,
well there.
accordion, and then sax. Okay, so then what? So then what happened after the sax? How long did you play that, and what did you
Well,
move on to next?
well, it was the sax, and then I started playing accordion, right? It was around fifth or sixth grade as well. But,
Man.
but the thing with the accordion, my brother, this was the plan. My neighbor was gonna
Mhm.
play the bass,
Mhm.
boom, boom, right? And I was gonna play the sax. My
Mhm.
brother, my brother had bought an accordion, and he was gonna play the accordion.
Mhm.
And one of my cousins was gonna play like the bajo sexto or something. I forgot, or
Mhm.
whatever. And we were supposed to make this band. And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna make this band. I'm gonna play saxophone, and you know what I mean? Like that was the deal.
Like
So
in
then
that
my brother,
happy.
eh?
Ya me
Well,
puedo morir, right? Like, I'm gonna,
yeah, bro,
we're
it
gonna.
was the best thing, bro. Like I'm gonna jam. I'm gonna play in a band. You know, like let's practice. Let's go. You know, like I was excited. I
Mhm.
remember. And then my brother, he 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 didn't practice much, and he wasn't just he didn't have much discipline, or he just didn't want to pick up the accordion. So I remember I grabbed it, watching those Juan Contreras shows, and watching bands on TV. I learned La Chona. That was the first song I learned. And my brother was like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Like, how did you figure it out?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just kind of figured it out. Like, I kind of saw, and it was like around here, and I tried it, and it just came out. It was just
Mhm.
that little piece. He's like, well, take something out, like, or take out the rest." I remember I was like, I don't know, I guess. So then I took out more. I took out, I think it was probably like another song, or Tucanazo or something.
Mhm.
And then
I used to love that song.
yeah, yeah. So then he started. He was looking for a teacher to learn accordion and to help him out. So I remember he went to this with this Polak on Cicero. It was like this
Mhm.
Polish guy, and he played accordion, and he went to take lessons, and it was obviously a different system. It was obviously different.
Mhm.
A different style and stuff. So he's like, nah, this Polish guy is not gonna help me out. So then
Mhm.
he kept looking for another teacher. So he found this teacher.
Mhm.
He's from Cicero. He was actually a really um him and his brothers and his sisters, they had a group. They were called Los Naranjos. They were from Chicago, but
Mhm.
I think they came from like Texas or something. Anyways, all this guy's Jorge was the teacher's name. All his brothers and his sisters, they played in a band, and he gave lessons. So
Mhm.
then my brother started going there for the accordion, and then he's like, well, like you take lessons. Like, I'll take you. So then I would go take lessons. I remember he would charge $10 for half an hour. So then
Man,
I was cheap, super cheap, right?
man,
Yep, $10
man.
for
Be
half an
like low key, bro. Like, well, I don't know. Cause I can't read your mind, but bro, you lived the dream. 10,
Yeah, bro.
$10 for lessons.
Yep.
What do you call it? Ya tengo like they used to give like free lessons for like the acoustic guitar at like my
Oh,
previous church that I went to, but it was like a group thing, and I didn't really like the group thing, cuz like everybody's at a different level or whatever. And I would like over here, since I'm 2 hours west, like I've been trying to find somebody to like teach me, and like
yeah.
usually people are like, "Oh, well, it's cuz I don't like I know what I'm doing, but I don't like know how
I don't
to."
know how to teach. Yeah,
Yeah. You know what I mean? Man, you were living the dream, bro. Like you found somebody who's like,
yeah,
"Yeah, I teach you for $10." Like,
yeah. And I remember he had a lot of students. I remember
mhm.
it was like the whole day type of thing. He would give lessons all day, and
Original entrepreneur right there.
yeah, 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 bro. Well, I think we kind of made me and my brother kind of like did the math, because he taught like bigger groups, or like already formed groups at night from like 8 to 10. So he would charge them $100 for like it was like a 2 hour
Mhm.
session or so.
Mhm.
And but I mean, if you make the math, it's pretty it was pretty good money back
Mhm.
in the day, even though he was charging $10. So anyways, he I went with him for about 3 years. I remember I started getting a little bit more serious, and then he gave me some exercises, and then I went back the next week. No, you probably won't know what the follejo is. It's a technique they do. The accordion does. It's when they do
Mhm.
that's called a follejo. So he taught me that. I think it was the first couple of weeks he taught me that, and then I remember I came home. I was like, "Dad, I gotta learn that. That's badass. Like, it's what Michael Salgado does. Ding,
Mhm.
ding, ding, ding. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it does. Like, that's a cool technique." So then I practiced. I remember I practiced all week, and then the following week I went, and I'm like, hey, I could do it. I could do that. He was like, whoa, you could do that. Like, bro, like I just taught you that. Like you're doing pretty good. Like, um, so then I got into this whole momentum thing, and then my brother would hype me up, and he would take me
Man,
and
God bless him, bro. What if he hadn't? You know what I mean?
oh hell yeah, bro. Like it's yeah. I say the same thing, bro. Like thanks to him, like he's always pushed me. To this day, he pushes me, and he's always there.
Hmm.
Um. So so I remember he was like after a couple like maybe like 2 3 years, he's like, you know what, you need to get into a group. Like you can play songs and you play the loners and you play well, but you need to play into a group. You need to get into a group because you need to expand and you need to learn more and you need to get a little bit more experience playing songs and ending them and playing together with with other with the rest of the band. Like
Yeah,
that's
acoplarse.
the next step. Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
next step. That's how you're gonna grow. Like you're good. Like you're good. I remember I knew a lot of songs, bro. Like a lot. Like most of the Ramon Ayala, like either I knew it or out. I was kind of sort of advanced that I would take it out by ear. Like I kind of like understand it. Like
Hmm.
I was it was it
Yeah.
was
Let's let's talk about that. So, what is it called when you can learn by ear?
when you learn by ear.
Yeah, when you don't know how to read music,
Uh huh.
but because it sounds like you learned by watching, like that Ramon Contreras, is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. Juan
Jorge
Contreras.
Juan Contreras. And you like learned by like you like listen and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
okay,
by ear. Yeah. Pues in Spanish it's lyrical.
mm-hmm,
Um, and you're right. Like I really I have a good ear. Thanks to that I because I learned. That's the way I learned how to play. Music by listening and by watching.
mm-hmm. Do you think that's like in Spanish, en español le llamamos un don? Like, do you think that's because, let me tell you why, because so after I quit the Duranguense and I went to the Tamborazo, I met my friend Martin, who's still in Banda Caliente. I think right now he plays the tuba, and this is where I'm going. So according to my friend Martin, he said he hated school, bro. Like, he's like, I didn't understand anything, bro, and I thought it was a gigantic waste of time. He's like, but I always like music. Doesn't know how to read music at all, bro. So he started out with the trumpet,
Uh-huh.
and he learned by, like you said, just watching and listening.
Yeah.
And then he moved on to the valve trombone, the long one that's in the same, like, this it's in the same, what's it called? Like in Spanish, they dicen está en el mismo tono. What is
Uh-huh.
it called? It's in treble clef. It's in treble clef. It's the same one, the longer one, as the trumpet. So he
Okay.
moved over to that one, and the same, just like just listening, watching, and y tenía ganas del cortito, the one that's in bass clef,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he bought one, and he figured it out.
Yeah,
And after that, it wasn't enough. He was like, I want to learn how to play the tuba, and
yeah,
that's what he's doing today. So like, and like, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't, like you said, had discipline and he practiced or whatever, but
yeah.
he could do that. But he was like, school, no, bro. Like, I don't even think he. I might be wrong, but I don't think he didn't finish high school.
Oh
But
shit.
yeah, but he para la música, bro. He's like,
Yeah,
he always like me sorprendía. You know what I mean? Kind of like your brother with you, that you were like, that he was like, whoa, you already, like,
yeah,
how'd you learn that? Like, take the rest of it out.
yeah. Look at I don't know if it's a don, but because you can I mean it's something that you can develop.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
know what I mean. But
Hmm.
I mean he does or people do have ¿cómo se dice uh but just musical a better
Hmm.
understanding with like
Hmm.
uh rhythm
Hmm.
and notes and pitches and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and you have a good ear. But I think
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean yeah, you have to at some way you have to have some sort of musical aptitude, I guess you can say, like
Hmm.
to or at least a little bit of that don you say,
Hmm.
to start. But
Yeah, I think you're talking about like when you were just talking like when I started in El Tamborazo, like I had never I had like I wasn't even in the duranguense that long. I just wanted to play tambora, bro. That's all I wanted to do, you know. And I remember like the teacher at the time, he would be like, "Oh, tiene sentido." Like, and I like at the time I didn't. I was like, "What is that? I don't know what that is." Like, but that's what
Yeah,
he would say like about like me and like my friend like Martin or whatever. And it's funny too because like I still like I still drum everywhere.
yeah,
You know, like sometimes I don't even know that I'm like doing it. And one time I was doing it I work with like where I work at. And this lady like estaba like taroleando like así like zapateado style, you know, like son. And she didn't know what it is, like, you know what I mean? But she was like, "Oh, you've got a good natural rhythm or whatever." Like I think that's what, yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. Like tiene sentido, like for some reason, and like but like you said, you can. Some people don't, but they can develop it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like for example, um, like African Americans or blacks, they have really good rhythm, bro. Like
Hmm.
most of them, they have they're musically inclined, but like it's just a natural
Hmm.
rhythm, you know,
Hmm.
as opposed to like a paisa where some paisas where it's like they have two left feet or they don't have great
Hmm.
coordination. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
or you want to take it a little bit further, like how many times don't we see like white people, that can't dance or they don't have
Hmm.
rhythm or
Hmm.
any type of musical abilities.
Hmm.
Y qué será, güey? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? I mean, it's
I
not
don't
the
know.
color, or I
Yeah,
mean,
isn't it? Yeah, that's true.
oh, pues qué será? Because bro, white people they have to work for it. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I think they kind of have to put in a little bit more effort and more work
Hmm.
as opposed to como que un African American or a black. I don't know how you want to say, but pero sí está raro, bro. Está
Hmm.
raro. So
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because when I was in Caliente, bro, like there was one of our tromboneros. He was good, bro, pero he couldn't dance. So
yeah,
like you know how like sometimes like the bandas are like in step.
yeah,
He would always be like you
yeah,
say he had like two left feet, bro. So
yeah.
but that's interesting too. Like how come you can play music but you can't?
That's true. They don't have
Yeah,
they don't have the coordination. Yeah,
yeah.
it's weird, bro, because they have the coordination to, for their
Mm,
to play whatever with their mouth, to coordinate their fingers with their mouth, and but they don't have the coordination. I guess to move their limbs. Or I don't know. It's weird, bro. It's science. I don't know. It's weird. Oh yeah, that's
we got to
crazy
figure
stuff.
this out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So okay, so this guy was teaching you and he was saying you got to get in a group. You got to
Yeah.
get in a group para acoplarse, you know, so you can learn more and stuff. So what happened with that?
So after that is when I joined the band with my neighbor. It was
Hmm.
called Banda Inspiración. He's like well, he brought me in as percussion, and then I would play like 2 3 songs with the accordion. But it was the whole accordion deal, since it was a landa. It was still kind of weird. It was still kind of, like they were just like, yeah, well, come play one, come play some, and just nothing serious. So then after that, um that band sort of kind of turned into Banda de Viento. Um,
Mm.
most of the trumpet players and we had trombones too. They were from the same ranch, and excuse me, and they pretty much got out and they joined some other guys from the ranch. They're the rancho. They were from La Manzanilla de La Paz, Jalisco. Um, and they made this band. Hicieron una banda de viento. Bueno, les hicimos because I went there. Fíjate que I was supposed to play accordion, but then they're like, "Hey, we need a clarinet player. You don't want to play clarinet?" I was like, "Sure." So I jumped to clarinet. And I was kind of learning, and I was there, and um that was I was in there for about a year or so, 2 years.
Mm.
So then my neighbor Dario, he went to help out this band. It was Banda Azteca. I don't know if you remember.
Mm-mm.
No, it was a little bit before you were with Caliente, but he went to help him out. And these guys, it was all young guys, bro. It was all young guys. It was pretty much like the oldest was like, I don't know, I think he was like 25 or so, and
Mm.
it was from there. They were in high school, and it was cool. Like, and it was a banda. It was a whole banda serenata, and it was full, and they had it was work, and it was badass. So then they offered my neighbor. They're like, hey, well, we need a trumpeter. You're down? You down to join us? And he was like, well, he thought about it, and then he didn't want to leave these guys hanging. So then he's like, yeah, well, ultimately he joined them. So there I go again. I go with him. I went with him. The same deal. I started as a loader and helping them, with the stuff and playing accordion. I played a couple songs with accordion. So then I did that for a bit, and then the guy that this is a cool story. The guy that was playing harmonia,
Mhm.
um, he knew the guys from, I don't know if you remember, Vuelta de Rio. Vuelta de Rio
Mhm.
was the old members or the old Recoditos back in the Pancho Barraza days,
Whoa.
which is now Pancho Barraza's band. They were called Vuelta de
Whoa.
Rio. So
Mhm.
they came to Chicago. They played and stuff. And this guy saw him. They're like, hey, well, he met up with them, blah blah blah. And they invited him to join them, to join Vuelta de Dios, the banda. So then this guy left. He's like, hey, well, I'm gonna move to Mazatlan because I'm gonna go play with the band, blah blah blah. So then they asked me, they're like, hey, well, why don't you get a play harmonia? So that's when I jumped to harmonia. So then I played harmonia for 3 years, and then I did some. I was always into like drums and stuff, and I played tarolas and I played tabora, and I had the rhythm, and
Mhm.
um, I was playing harmonia. So then the tarolero was gonna get out. So then they're like, hey, well, why would you play tarolas? So then I jumped to tarolas. So then I started playing. I played tarolas, I practiced and stuff, and then I did that for about 3.5 years. And then along the lines, I started. This is when I got into high school, and sophomore year, I started. I picked up the tuba at school. I went in there freshman year. I was playing clarinet because it was with the I was
Mhm.
with the banda manzanera. It was called banda manzanera. I was playing clarinet, so I played clarinet. And then the band teacher was like, "Hey, we need a tuba. Who's interested in playing tuba?" He's like, I mean, it's pretty much an easy A, and it's a cool instrument. And coming from banda background, I was like, yeah, I'll play tuba. So then that's when I jumped into tuba. That was sophomore year.
Mhm.
I played in band high school, tuba. So then in the banda I was playing tarolas. So then about junior year, the tubero he gets out.
Mhm.
And since I was playing tuba and I would play a couple songs, and I would just mess around with with banda and stuff. They're like, hey, well, jump to the tuba. And then I was like, you know what? I was gonna get braces. I'm gonna get braces. I'm playing tarolas. I don't know this and that. And then well, just go for it. Like do it. Like we need a tuba player. Like, and honestly, you're I think you'll get it. So there I go. I started playing tuba, and that's when I started playing tuba. And that was my junior year in high school. So then I played I was it was junior year, senior year, um high school when I played tuba. Yeah. And I mean that was it. After that I continued, I went to school, and I played tuba as well there. I was there for 3 years about. I think it was a junior when I got out. And I got out because I was gonna. Well, the typical. Oh, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna take a semester off and
Mhm.
I'll take a little break. And so I did that. But I decided to go to Mazatlan, to move to Mazatlan, and to take a break, bro. And take a break, learn, and play out there. And so I did
What's
that.
that like, by the way? To
Uh,
because like I mean, so like there's like for example here in America, right? Like I think Nashville has a huge music scene. So
Right,
like the typical thing is like, well, if you want to be a musician, you gotta move to Tennessee, right?
right,
Gotta move to Nashville. Like in Mexico, like for banda, it's Mazatlan, right? Like
right.
you.
Exactly.
So what's that
Like
like?
you're a bandero, Danny. You're a bandero, so it's Mazatlan, bro. That's
Hmm.
where it's at, or Sinaloa for that
Hmm.
matter. Um, so I had friends. And I had gone to Mazatlan, and I had friends, and a lot of them, they were like, hey, well, vente pa acá, aquí trabajas mucho, trabajas bien, te acomodas una banda, blah blah blah, and Danny, being a bandero and being este, eh, into recodo, arrolladora, and all that stuff.
Hmm.
That's where they're from. That's where they're at,
Hmm.
and the whole style. And it's like, oh shit. So then I was like, all right, well, I'll take a little semester off, and then I'll go to Mazatlan and just see what's up and learn. Um, so that's what I did, bro. I did that, and then I got to Mazatlan, and it was weird, bro, because um they would tell me like they would tell me the the musicians out there. They're like, wait a minute, you're from Chicago and you're coming to Mazatlan to live? Then I'm like, well, yeah, I want to learn. Like, that's tú estás al revés. We want to go over there, and you're coming over here. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. I wanna be out here and stuff. So I was out there for 3 months only. I took my stuff,
Hmm.
bro. I took my tarolas, I took my tuba, I took my harmonia, I took my truck. I moved out there, bro. I
Hmm.
took all my stuff, and I rented an apartment, and I was there. Like I was there, it was fine. And the plan was to stay there for a couple months, if not for a good while, because my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she was I mean, we were already going out and stuff, and she was gonna move out with me.
Hmm.
Uh, and we were gonna get a place and stuff, and just pretty much get married out there. So it was pretty much three months. I was out there 3 months, and that's when I got a call from the Los Horoscopos.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. That's really interesting. So I've always known you from Escuela de Rancho. That's how I like know you. Um, and then I listened to El Guac
uh,
their first episode, and I think you mentioned it. I'm like, what? And then I went to go look at their album covers, and I'm like, there he is.
yeah,
And as I was telling you when we were texting, Horoscopos played at my sister's quinceañera.
yeah, bro, you were
Yeah.
telling me. Yeah, dude.
So at the time, Montes was like, this was back in like 2002, around there, because my sister's 5 years older than me. I was born in '92. I was 10 at the time, so it was 2002. Montes was like, estaban pegando, right?
Yeah,
But we got them right at the point where they were on the way up, so
right.
they were still doing.
I remember that. Mm,
And what happened was, like, my mom talked to like Jose Luis and everything. Like,
right.
my mom, like, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we got the dates mixed up. So now we got two gigs the same day. Like,
Well,
yeah, we can't play the whole time. We gotta leave. Because I don't wanna get out mal with you or like with them." And my mom was kind of upset, but he was like, "Well, like Orozcopo's like, we'll get them to finish up." And my mom was like, "Okay." And we have it on video, bro. We have
that's a sick ass quinceañera, bro.
it was here in I'm in Rockford, like you said, 2 hours west of Chicago, and the place I think is shut down now. It's called El Satiro, and we had the actually, bro, in the video, it's like this from when Orozcopos would play like zapateados and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like the people were jamming, bro. Like they were dancing, and the owner at the time, like they wouldn't let us bring in any more people because it got packed. But
It was
yeah, it's on video. Oh, you know who's on video too in that video?
cool.
Um, Sergio from Capaz, en paz
Okay.
descanse.
He was
I
he
think
used to play with Horoscopos.
he was like the loader, no, like you. And
Yeah.
he sang a song, and it's funny too because like the guy, the people
And,
that recorded the video, their family members, he zoomed in on him. I think when he was like, I think because everybody was surprised, he
uh,
zoomed in on him. But yeah, Vicky on there, I think is playing la tambora, and Marisol, I think, is playing the sax. And I mean, I don't. Were you there?
no,
Okay,
no,
okay. So yeah, so yeah, you got the call from Horoscopos. When was that?
that was 2007.
Mm.
Yeah, that was 2007. Fíjate que from the whole playing with Banda Azteca, I knew we knew Horoscopos and pretty much all of them, like Montes.
Mhm.
Uh, I remember that little area. I mean, that little year where Duranguense like popped off. Like it was like, oh shit, like it's popping off. And I remember Don Armando, which is Orozcobos. They still had privates. Like they had a couple privates still, and they couldn't like go on tour and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they were already like touring sort of, but they still had privates. And
Mhm.
that was probably when your sister's cotillion was
Yeah.
around that area when like shit was popping off, like you say. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
yeah, I remember and it was wild, bro. I remember honestly, bro. I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Since we were banderos, we would hate Andoranguenses, bro.
Yeah.
Hate.
So
I don't know
so
about you.
that happened to me after I became a
Right,
bandero.
right. After, yeah.
Yeah. So a bit like I said, like because Duranguense was doing the same thing that Banda has always done. Banda does covers, right? Like they
Right,
take traditional song and then they were doing that, and I liked
right.
it. And then and from so one of the reasons that I got into tamborazo was Braceros, like in their album, in one of their albums, I think maybe the second or third one, sacaron la canción de Cuatro Meses, and
Uh-huh.
they started just like con la like kind of tamborazo style, just tarolas and tambora, and I was like, what's this? Like I don't like I've never, you know what I mean? Because one of the things that I liked about Duranguense was the tambora. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's got. I didn't know what banda was at the time, and then I found out about tamborazo, and I'm like, oh, this is way better. And then eventually I found out about banda, and I was like, oh, this is way better. And like once I was playing in the banda, I would listen to like old Duranguense songs, and I was like, yeah, this isn't really. It's kind of like you said when you like listen to your CD in the basement.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's kind of suck. Like you're like, what did I, But like to us at the time, it was the best. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
oh yeah. Yeah, bro. We would hate like us banderos. Lo que eran los banderos, norteños,
Hmm.
and we would hate on Duranguenses. Why? Because they were popular, bro. They were the
Hmm.
popular ones, and they were everywhere, and it was it was it, and it was honestly, Danny, it was the music was kind of weak. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's very few. Look, Orozcopos, they jam. Like they were good. It was a good band. Like it was a good complete band. It was a solid band. They
Hmm.
jam. Um Los Urbina, which is Alacranes, they jam. They jam
Hmm.
hard. I think personally, um Alacranes would be one of my top Duranguense.
Hmm.
Because Chema, remember Chem, the singer, he had a cool swag and the whole bass deal. It was musical. Like
Hmm.
I think it was pretty cool. Honestly, Montes, it was a little bit more hood, like more rancho. Like I don't know if you understand. Like, it was a little bit more poor, but it was the one that popped the most. Why? Because
Hmm.
era música alegre. It was eran las polcas y era el tamborazo, and it
Hmm.
was a little bit more raw. It was a little bit more authentic. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
That's why. That's why.
Yeah, let's
That's
not
why.
forget. Let's not forget. For those of us who remember, El Sube y El Baja, right?
Oh, bro, no, that's
The
just
and the dance they came up with.
bro.
The video with the dance. Everybody was trying to do that dance. Everybody was.
It was not too. I remember we would go to all the Duranguense stuff kind of started and popped off in an Alamo in Aurora, bro.
Mhm.
I remember we would go there, we would go there for events and Alamo, and they were dancing weird, bro. Like what the hell? They were
Mm-hmm.
fast. They were dancing fast, and it was because there was a lot of people from Durango,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just dance. Like back then, it was a different style of dancing than what it is now that I get to where it's like this. It was different. No, it was different. It was different. It was like it was still kind of like it was kind of on the stiff side.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like this whole deal that they did after. That
Mm-hmm.
was after. That's the week that I didn't say. But I remember we were like, what the hell is weird? They
Mm-hmm.
dance weird. Like it's only 45 minutes away from Chicago and they're dancing weird. Y ya estaba ahí Montes, ya tocaba Lacranes, and they had their little movement going on already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we noticed that it was like, oh shit, what the hell? And then couple months later, 2 3 months later, we would go again and to another event, and it was like that. It was like so then it became a thing. It was like, wait a minute, it's
Yeah.
weird. Like, oh, Aurora, where they dance nasty. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it was like that. It was like, oh, look, we're going to Aurora. They dance weird over there. You know what I mean? And then
Everybody
all of a
who's in a everybody who's in a banda had the dance they did when they were making fun of Duranguense, right?
sudden,
Like everybody had a little dance that they did when they were like, "Oh, así vayan así."
everybody,
Like,
bro. To this day, they say Duranguense, and people start. You know what? Some musicians get offended, bro, and some people get offended and stuff.
hmm
But honestly, bro, I'm from Durango, bro, and
hmm
and and playing, having the opportunity to play with Horoscopos and to work with them and just to see what the Duranguense movement did is like what? It's like
hmm
it's like it's crazy, bro. Like you don't even
hmm
understand how
What
much Duranguense.
what made you like decide like because you were you living in Mazatlan when they called you in 2007?
Yeah, bro. You know what? Well, I knew my guy, my friend was going out with Vicky at the time.
hmm
Friend was going out with Vicky, and I knew Vicky from back in the day. From the gigs here in Chicago, and
hmm
we would hang out here and there, and we were cool, and we were super cool. Marisol as well, and when I was up, well, the reason why I got invited was because the Horoscopos, I don't know if you remember, but most of the members came, they got out. I think it was like three or
hmm
four members that got out and they made their own thing. So los Horoscopos se quedaron solos, they quedaron without musicians.
hmm
So then that's where I came in. Well, actually, I'll take that a little bit further back. My friend that was going out with Vicky Gonzalo is his name. uh he was playing with Montes now. He had
hmm
he had joined Montes and he was playing with him and he was trying to get me in there too with Montes.
hmm
And I went to try out with Montes and I remember Danny, the drummer, it was at his house and he was like, yeah, let's jam on, let's try you on, stuff like that. And so I tried out and then he was like, yeah, bro, yeah. He's like, just gotta practice a little bit more and but just get ready, that was it. I was like, oh shit, like. And then I would see them. I think we ran into them after that, and then they were like, "Yeah, well, you ready, bro?" And he was like, "You ready? You ready? You've been practicing?" I was like, "Yeah, well, what's up? Like, I'm down. Like, you know what I mean?" So then that's when I left to Mazatlan. So my guy, when this happened, this whole deal happened with Orozcobos. My guy, he was like, "Whoa, this guy was gonna come with us. Like, take him. Like, he's perfect. Like, um, he'll fit right in." So he pretty much not convinced Vicky because I knew Vicky and Vicky knew of me and she knew that that I like music and that I was into it and that I was in Mazatlan playing. So she said, "Well, yeah, let's invite him." So then she calls me up. No, he told me, he's like, "Hey, well, these guys got out. They're looking for musicians." And I told him about you. What's up? You down? And at first I was like, bro, Danny, I was like, man, like I don't know. Look at with that mentality still.
hmm
I remember I was in Mazatlan and I would tell some friends, I was like, man, they're inviting me from over there. They're like, what? Bro, get out of here, bro. Go. Like that's a good opportunity. And I was like, nah, but I want to play banda.
hmm
And at first I told Vicky, I was like, nah, you know what? let me think about it. Like I don't know. I'll let you know. See what's up. And then she asked me again, and then she's like, "What's up? So, well, you ready or what?" And then I told her, you know what, Vicky? I'm like, I don't play tuba. I'm down to learn, and I'm down to echarle ganillas, and just go at it. Uh, so if you want to try me out, like, oh, come try out, let's see what's up, and then we'll see what's up. Nah, like I'm out, like I'm cool. But if you say, hey, you're in, um, I mean, yeah, I have no choice. I'm down. I'm super into, learn and bust my ass. She's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, come on, let's come back. You're in, you're in. I'm like, oh shit. So then that's when I came back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when
After 3 months, you said?
well, it wasn't 3 months. It was about like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks that I remember that she
Mm-hmm.
had Gonzalo had mentioned it to me, and I was like, nah, I don't know, I
No,
don't
but
know.
I mean, how long were you in Mazatlan
I was
living?
after 3 months. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then that was the end of my Mazatlan uh adventure, bro.
Uh-huh.
So then I thought about it. Like I said, I would talk to my friends, and they're like, man. And then I told them how much they were gonna pay, and they're like, what, bro? You're not gonna make that here. Like, oh, like get out of here, bro. Like you're not gonna make that money here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing?
Man, you know what I've noticed so far in your story, bro? Like, you had a lot of good people that were like, kind
Yeah,
of like, because I mean, you know how it is, bro. Like me and you, like you said, we have that in common that we'd see other musicos and we're like, oh, I wanna. But there's some people that, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they hate, and they could have been like, no, quédate aquí, ¿qué vas a hacer? Like, what are you
yeah,
gonna do over there? You know what I mean? But it sounds like they were like, no, bro, like,
yeah.
like take it as
You
far
know,
as you can.
yeah. I learned a lot in Mazatlan, bro. I saw it as like the work ethic, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like working in Mexico is cray, bro. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like they would charge uh 1,500 pesos for a whole band, like a whole 14-man band, which is
Man,
100 pesos an hour, bro.
that's wild. And a
Like,
hundred pesos is like what, $10?
it's $10. Well, now is
Man,
$5 an hour, bro.
entre so
So
like
I learned a
entre
lot,
cat.
bro. I learned a lot. Like I really like I was like, holy shit, like we make $100 an hour, a
Mm-hmm.
hundred bucks an hour, not 100 pesos over there in the States. So I'm like, holy shit, these guys, it's rough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being a musician in Mexico, it's super hard, bro. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like I don't know how they do it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
honestly,
But
it's
like it's like it's
nasty, bro.
unexplainable, bro.
It's
It's
the
un
best, right?
it's
Yeah, for sure, bro. No, I know how to do it. You're right. It's that, and it's
it's
hard.
it's similar to like, I mean, this is the only thing that I can compare. Like when you fall in love,
Yeah,
you remember like back in the day, like 2, 3 in the morning, you gotta wake up for school, and you're like, I'm not tired, and you fall asleep like with the drool hanging, and you like wake up, and you're like, oh, I fell asleep. Like when,
you love. Yep.
bro, I would. So let me tell you something. Like I said, I'm mostly talking. And instead of letting you talk, I'm talking about myself.
Oh, no, it's cool, bro. It's cool,
But
cool.
um, so I'm raised by a single mother. She so she my mom, I mean, my mom is, now that I think about it, my mom is the best. So like I was 16, 17, bro, playing at El Sinaloense in Chicago,
Oh shit.
at like 2, 3 in the morning, and like, I mean, moms, bro, they worry about you or whatever.
Yeah.
But my mom saw that I was happy, you know, and she's like moms, right? So she wants you to get good grades. So like, me sacas por lo menos B's o te saco de esa banda, bro. Bro, I would go to the gigs, right? I would put off my homework, like, yeah, whatever, whatever. I'd go practice and I'd go to the gigs. Next thing you know, bro, I got like assignments due. I would come home from the gigs 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and that's when I would do my homework. I was like, I gotta get this done, otherwise my mom's not gonna let me be in the band. Y así la hacía, bro. And like you said, like, like how did I do it? Like sometimes I wouldn't sleep. Like it's like I don't know how to like explain it.
No, it's because you just do it, bro. You get your
Hmm.
ass up and you just go. Hey, this for music, honestly, that's the way I am, bro. And that's the way
Hmm.
I've always been. And I've always surrounded my life with music. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's just the core of it. Like, and I don't know if it's a cool thing or it's a bad thing or what, but bro, that's what makes me just completely bro. Honestly, bro,
Hmm.
yeah, music is something else.
Yeah, I remember. Well, go ahead and finish. So you were in Mazatlan 3 months. They had been talking to you 3 weeks, and then you said, "I don't want to go just to try out. I want to be in." And
Yeah, I told her, I'm like, man, Vicky, you know what? I moved out here. I'm playing and I brought out my stuff. Most important, like I don't want to go over there and just because I don't play. I didn't play tuba, bro. I didn't play
Mhm.
tuba, but I didn't play tuba. I'm like, you know what? I don't play. But I mean, if you say, I mean, I'm down to learn. She's like, no, no,
Mhm.
no, come, you're in. I'm like shit. So then I grabbed all my shit and I came back to Chicago, bro. I thought about it and then I was like, well, um, first of all, it's good money. Second of all, they were friends, they were good
Mhm.
friends. It was good people that I knew. And then I was like, well, then I'm just gonna go back to Chicago, because this was their headquarters. They lived here, and it was coming back to Chicago. So I'm like, I guess I'll give up my my dream on playing a band
Mhm.
in una banda. So I came back, bro, and I did Horoscopos for about 3.5 years as well. Yeah.
Mhm. And then after the 3.5 years, what happened?
So after the 3.5 years, um, they were gonna take a break. Marisol, she was having some family problems and stuff, so they were gonna take a break. I remember it was summertime, and I think it was June, no May. It was Memorial Day weekend. That was our
Mhm.
last weekend. It was our last gig. Well, it was my last gig with them. It was in Mexico City, and um, by then we had. Do you remember Estilo Especial?
Yeah, I remember. I
Okay,
learned. I think I learned. They're not together anymore, right?
no.
I think I learned about them. I learned about them like when I started like learning about you guys because I was like, oh, like
Uh huh.
what else is out there, you know? And that's when
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I got introduced to what happened was you guys came down here to Rockford to play at a place called Las Palmas,
Yeah.
and honestly, bro, like you guys were already buzzing,
Yeah.
like everybody was like, but it's kind of like you were saying, like I was like a music snob, you know, like I wanted like banda, like tradicional, right, like de viento, like I wanted it, you know, and like like you guys were like a new style, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna like it. And one of my friends invited me, and you guys played Maria de Jesus, and I was like, this is dope. Like I had like a great time. Like I had a great time, and then after that, I was like, okay, like what else is out there? And that's when I learned about Estilo Especial. At the time, Los Viejones, like
Yeah.
stuff, stuff like because I always was familiar mostly with the Chicago bands, not
Yeah.
like the groups and like the different, the other genres that were like echándole ganas too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Estilo Especial. What were you
So
saying?
so yeah. So there with Orozco's, we started doing this little like a little side thing.
Mhm.
We did this norteño banda and we named it. We, as in the drummer with Orozco's, Hector.
Mhm.
He was the drummer. Myself, Gonzalo. Gonzalo was his brother.
Mhm.
Just quick FYI, Gonzalo, the guy, Vicky's ex, was Hector, the drummer, Orozco's drummer's brother.
Mhm.
So us three, and then a couple other friends, an accordion guy, we did the little norteño banda. It
Mhm.
was, if you remember back in the little um that little era, that little the whole norteño banda and the whole corridos thing was coming in.
Mhm. Julián Alvarez did
Yes,
with Norteño Banda like the same thing that happened with like Duranguense, right? Like Duranguense
for sure.
like branched off and like did its own little thing, and people were like, ah, whatever, and it like
Yeah,
blew up. The same thing with Julián Alvarez, Mulas de Moreño.
yep,
Like Mulas de Moreño was like
yeah,
basically the modern day Sube y Baja, right? Like
yeah,
Sube y Baja came out and people like lost their minds. Mulas de Moreño, fine, 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 very good,
yep.
very like, and people lost their mind. Not to mention when, so actually the first time that I heard La Maria,
Mhm.
um, Julian Alvarez song, like yeah, when he was like on his way up, was with what were their name? Like it was la it wasn't La Bandeña, or maybe it was La Bandeña. No, not La Bandeña. It was like La Banda, like it was like a techno banda. I think your drummer used to be in it. What was it called?
Oh, Banda Real, bro.
Yeah, Banda
Yeah,
Real, bro.
Banda Real.
It was like I thought Banda Real was cool because when I heard Banda Real, they play La Maria at I think Merendero San Marcos. Um,
Yeah,
I heard this song and I was like, what is this? This is like I like this song. I hadn't heard it with Julian yet, and I thought it was cool because Banda Real was like a mix between techno banda and
Banda-
duranguense. Yeah, yeah,
yep,
and like banda, and I was like, oh, this is dope. And then I heard it with Julian,
yep.
and then it made sense why they were playing it. I'm like, oh, they're playing it because like Julian had just que me pasaba, yeah, man,
Yep.
it was yeah. So yeah, so that's why you did Estilo Especial because
Yeah, yeah. It was the whole norteño banda deal was going up. So then uh we did that estilo especial, and I was there estilo when we started estilo especial. It was hot, bro. I remember we would play
mm,
every day. Every day we would play every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. It were every day, bro. It was for the first 3 months. It was super hot. Um,
mm,
and it was something new because it was the corridos were coming in. We would play all them corridos. We
mhm,
would play, it was we were popular. And so I was there for about 8 months only, bro.
mm.
And I got out. I got out, and that's when we started Escuela de Rancho.
Mhm. Um, uh, if I'm correct, like you decided to call it like Escuela de Rancho. Like I think, maybe a little bit because like how it says on your website, like your parents raised you
Right.
with that culture. You know what I mean? But one of the things that I like about you, that I like about Escuela de Rancho is that you play like rancheras, like
Right.
Delante de Mi or
Yeah.
whatever. Like what and I think it's super interesting because like you said, like you were playing in the norteño banda and corridos were popping, but you were like, man, I know corridos were popping, but I'm gonna play rancheras. I'm gonna play but bro, when I heard Vergelitos, like at I was there when you guys gave out the free CDs, the Escuela de la Vida, I think it
Oh,
was
at Merenderos?
I think it was at El Rey, bro, that you guys, for some reason, you guys gave out your CD and it had Los Vergelitos on there. I remember because it was track number 9. And I heard that and I was like, man, this is really good. And like you said, that's Recoditos used to sing Vergelitos,
Yup.
right? Like faster, like dos por cuatro. Chalino used to sing Vergelitos, like kind of your style, but a little bit slower, right?
Yeah.
And I heard that song and I was like, man, I like this stuff. So like, why did you decide to do like more? I mean, you guys do play corridos, obviously, para
Yeah.
complacer a la gente, and you probably like some of them. But why
Yeah.
did you decide to do like música ranchera?
Honestly, that um, it was because we were tired of the whole corrido deal, bro.
Mm,
When this whole estilo especial deal, and it was everything was corridos, and
mhm,
mucha cabezas and alterado, and it was just corridos.
mhm,
So then when we started escuela, we 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 decided, well, we didn't decide, right, but for some reason Omar, Well, it was pretty much Omar, the only one that was there. We were into rancheras, and we were
Mhm.
tired of the corridos. We were like,
Mhm.
let's switch it up, or what about this song, what's one of the songs we played since the get go, like rancheras. Oh, which one we would play? Que que tan amargo que por tu mala cabeza.
That's a arrolladora song.
Ahora song, exactly, güey.
Uh, it starts with a D. It starts with a D. Me gusta. It's not. It's yeah. It's
El-
not. It's not this. Man, why? Man, I'm so mad at myself that I don't. I can't call. I can't recall the
el des-
name. It starts with a D. It starts with a D.
I'm
It's not.
telling you, desquite.
It's. Oh yeah, yeah. Desquite. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So that was our motto, bro. That was our what we were shooting for, and we would play the rancheras. We would play. No, none of the groups would play cumbias. We we
Mm.
we looked into. We're always into cumbias. We always take out cumbias, and so it was more ranchero. La cosa era más ranchera, bro.
Mhm.
And that was the difference, bro. And you know what? Now I see Secta doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Este, maybe like about 2 years ago, or yeah, about two to 3 years ago. Here in Chicago, bro, it was nothing but corridos, bro, like the corridos verdes, corridos. It
Mhm.
was the new era of corridos, and it was nothing but that, bro. Not all
Yeah.
the groups. It's all they were
Yeah.
doing.
It's waves.
It's weird, yeah,
It's
yeah,
waves, bro. Because like if you think about it, like a lot of people like I don't you I feel like you live and breathe this stuff like music,
yeah.
right? And I'm more of a fan, I got other stuff going on, but like a lot of people with MS que pura románticas or whatever, you know what I mean? But like if
You know,
it's a wave, like
it is.
when they started out, they weren't playing románticas. El
They're not,
24 está
not
de
to corrido.
parranda, right? And then what happened? It corrido started to go down,
Yeah,
and then romanticas, right? But their 10th anniversary
fire.
album, bro,
Fire.
por las calles de Chihuahua, bro,
So
man,
angry,
play,
bro.
play that in the summer driving, the happiest man alive, like just
Oh,
listening.
that's a badass idea, bro. La pasadita. Ta, ta, da, ta, da, da,
Ah,
da, da. You know what corridos badass, bro? They have there. Something about comandante. Uh,
is it like one of the ones that's like tarara, tarara, tarara,
no,
tarara,
no. It's something
mm.
about that he's friends with the comandante, but the comandante's a snitch, so he makes a fiesta. No, ¿cómo se llama? Bro. Well, he makes a party just to kill the comandante, the snitch.
Oh, yeah, I can't
That's
remember, but
eso.
that
Anyway.
I gotta. Now I'm gonna re-listen to that CD. But
Bro, I wish I could sit down with MS and be like and knock some sense into them to
mhm.
make a corrido CD right now, bro.
Yeah, you
Imagine
think so?
imagine if MS will do a CD de corridos like the 24 CD or
Hmm.
something like that, bro. They would go ham, bro. She would
Yeah,
just pop up, bro. She would just
yeah.
pop up.
Well,
Stupid, right?
I mean, it's like if you ever get the chance, shoot your shot, bro. You're the.
Nah, bro. I mean, that's what they bro. But they have their thing going on,
Yeah.
bro. They're doing collabs with Snoop now. You know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
a different level. You swear they're gonna want to record, corridos or something corridos are they talk about just
I think. I mean. I think. I mean. mm, I don't know. Maybe I'm being an optimistic, but like I think something like that could happen because like just recently I noticed
oh,
Germán Lizarraga
uh-huh.
they just released un like CD de like viento.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like playing canciones así viejitas, pero like just they're not
yeah.
even singing.
Instrument.
And if you think about it, Recodo did that too with
Oh
Raíces.
yeah,
You know what I
yep.
mean? Like that was a
I agree.
speaking of which that the song Mujer Mujer on there,
Okay.
man.
Yep.
Okay, but
Yeah,
So
bro.
you were tired. You see the same thing happening with what are they called? Las
Grupo sectas. They're called
Grupo
Grupo secta
Secta.
now. They're the
Okay,
popular ones right now.
so
Yeah.
they're switching to more ranchero because
Oh,
corridos have been.
they're a little bit more. They do corridos too, but they're a little bit more ranchero, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, it was a difference because a couple of years back, bro, it was nothing but corridos, bro. Okay,
Hmm.
saquele plumita, all that crap. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I'm saying crap not to be offensive, right? But you get tired of it, bro. I mean, I
Hmm.
get tired of it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier, like you, we feel connected with our ancestors with the rancheras. You don't really get. There's a few corridos that, but the, the what you're talking about is one kind of corrido. There's like a corrido that's like more story, like Laurita Garza,
Uh-huh.
classic. Juan
Uh,
Ramos, classic. Tarasco, like those
yep.
Penal de la Loma, like all those are more like it's a corrido, but it's a story.
Or
Kind of like you said, like La Venganza de Maria, that she went to the dance to kill the guy that killed her dad. You know what I
yep.
mean? Like Las Tres Tumbas. You know what I mean about the three women that killed each other fighting over this man or whatever. Like that has a story to it. But with the newer stuff, it's like you said that I feel like te cansas because you're like, well, what's the point? What's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But you play it para complacer al
Yeah.
público. If it's during that wave,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, we have to, bro. Honestly, we don't play much of the new corridos
Hmm.
uh that are out there because now it's a whole different ballgame, bro. These
Hmm.
whole corridos tumbados, it's a whole different deal, bro. The
Hmm.
other day I went to help out these friends. Oh, my friend Gonzalo, the one that the really good friend that I was telling you about. He has Ejército Serreño.
Hmm.
I don't know if you heard of them. They're like Serreño now, and
Hmm.
it's crazy. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you do it. Like all these new songs, all this whole tumbado deal, these new corridos, and it's just
What does that mean? Corridos tumbao. What does that mean?
it's this new little wave. Um, Pretty much, honestly, bro, you heard of Nathaniel Cano?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. Well, he's a singer. He's an artist, and he composes, and it's this type of corrido where they call it tumbado. I don't know why they call it tumbado, but it's a little bit. It's like a rap, bro. Like honestly,
Oh,
like corridos have always been raps, right?
yeah.
They talk about money,
Agreed.
about it's about courage and women and money. It's rap, bro. It's rap. It's
Hmm.
always been rap. But now the whole tumbao deal, now it's like really listen, it's really similar to the whole the rap deal. Now it's like, and now it's because and I heard this from this Mexican artist. They're like, we can't play out here in Mexico. We can't play corridos tumbados because um it's pocho. It's some pochos, the ones that
Hmm.
are jamming to this, and the ones that relate to this. You know what a
Hmm.
pocho is?
A pocho is like, well, it's like
Yeah,
me, no? Like I was,
yeah, like us. That we're
yeah.
born in the states,
Yep.
and we're Americanized, and we that and they tie it to rap,
Hmm.
English music and rap and stuff like that. So they're like, it's really confusing and really hard, but that's why, because those groups and that type of music, it's really influenced by rap
Hmm.
and the American culture, American
Hmm.
sound.
What I mean, putting that aside, like maybe I'm just asking the same question over and over again, but like, what do you think happened to like us where we like a little bit more of the, I guess, for lack of better word, the classics? What do
Yeah,
you think that? What do you think
yeah,
it
bro.
was?
Honestly, bro, it's just the evolution of music, bro.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's the same cycle. Look it, the same thing that happened with Duranguense is happening with the whole tumbado thing. It's
yeah,
exactly the same. And
that's
the whole
that's fair.
the whole corridos, the whole groups, the corridos verdes and all that, it's the same thing, bro.
Hmm.
The locals play the same songs, and it's the same thing, bro.
It's adding to your point,
Mhm.
Christian Nodal, right? Like he kind of added his he kind of added his own thing to mariachi,
That's
right?
it.
It's mariachi, like you know what I
Mariachi.
mean, like and it's what do you call it? A lot of people don't know, but the song Adios Amor, Da Reyes had done it, but
Oh yeah,
but in his style, no pegó for some reason. It's not that it's better or worse,
right.
because it depends on the listener. But then Christian Nodal did it with his mariachi style, and
Yep.
everybody was like, "Oh my God," you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I think
It's
that's
true, bro. Bro, that is he says that he's like, man, he's like, um, I did that song, and this guy comes in, and all of a sudden it's a big thing. He even says that, bro. He laughs. He's like, whoa, thanks to Nodal and Adios Amor, I get gigs
yeah.
because he was the original performer, or the guy that
Yep.
sound like.
And honestly, bro, when La Reyes first came out, I liked it.
I like it too.
I like the what's the
Hasta el día de hoy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
It
was
was a whole, it was a whole swag thing.
the white album where he was with the accordion and that's the one that song was on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Fue
was a
por
whole.
tu culpa.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it was
dope,
bad.
bro.
But like you said, back to what we were saying, I think it's just the whole evolution of music,
Mhm.
bro. Just the cycle of music, where um 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, Duranguense was new. It was new, and 20 years later, now we have this whole tumbao movement, or corridos verdes movement, I guess you can say.
Mhm.
um the whole corrido tumbao thing is it's just it comes from the whole corridos verdes, because yeah, the corrido verdes was pretty much, it started for here in the states. it
Mhm.
was it was the whole legado siete, talking about the whole cannabis movement and all that
Mhm.
stuff, that pretty much has grown into corridos tumbaos, sort of kind of similar. Bro, I can't explain it well. I guess I can tell you, like, musically, it's like more. They use like minor progressions, and it's a different progression, bro. Like, it's not
Mhm.
your typical primera, segunda, tercera. So it's a
Yeah.
different tones and different
Right.
quality.
Yeah, so I don't know how to play as much instruments as you do. I don't think anybody probably watching this knows how to play as many instruments as you, but yeah, but I do understand that in our kind of music, um most of the time they use the majors, right? Like
Right?
and
Major
not
chord.
the not the yeah, not the minors because the majors sound more like happy, like more rhythm. And so what you're saying is they're using the minors and they don't sound as happy, and since they're not typical, it's harder to switch your
Yeah,
music brain to play the
it's harder to digest, bro. Yeah,
mm,
yeah, it's harder. It's harder because you're right. It has a different sound. It has a different tonality, and it's just.
mm. It's probably, I mean, I'm not trying to explain it or anything, but if you think about it, like it's probably when people like they want to like vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like they want to, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to, like when you and I listen to music, I mean, even if we're sad, we listen to music and we're happy, right?
Yep.
But with them,
Yes.
they just want they. It's not that they want to be happy; they just want to vibe.
Yep.
Like they don't. It's
It's just
kind of like,
like
and it's
chill, like chill. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
it's true, bro. Look at it. That's a good point, and it's a good observation, because you look at the whole Duranguense movement. I
mhm,
remember the whole Duranguense movement, bro. Tú ibas a un baile, like you would go to a dance, and you would go dance, bro. Like
mhm,
you would go dance. Like the deal was to be in the, with your chick all over the place and to dance, bro.
mhm,
Nowadays it's a whole different deal. Like nowadays it's that you go, you get your table, and you just chill,
mhm.
and you don't dance, bro. Like it's because one, maybe because it's weird how everything just connects, and everything just like just flows together, bro.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
right?
like, I mean, it's like you said, like when Duranguense started popping off, somebody somewhere noticed, hey, people want to dance, right? Let's give them something to dance to.
Yeah.
and that's how it starts
It
with
was
Julian Alvarez, right? Like, hey, people want, you know, it looks like they want this. Let's give it to them.
Bills, yeah.
Somebody noticed people don't want to dance anymore. They just want to chill and vibe and
Yep.
kick it and listen, and they
Yeah.
they make it. But you don't stop making musica ranchera, bro, because that's why
Oh, no,
I
bro.
just play it, bro.
No. I think, fíjate que now that I'm singing, bro, um, it's a different ballgame, bro.
Hmm.
Goes to what we mentioned earlier, like playing those songs, playing it's just a different vibe. But and now that I have the opportunity to sing like uh like these badass songs, bro, cool ass songs. Like earlier we were practicing this old school ranchera se llama En toda la chapa. It's an old school ranchera, bro, and it's badass, bro. Like we took it out and it sounds fresh and it sounds it sounds cool, bro. And honestly, as a singer, bro, I might not be the best singer, but and have the a lot of experience, but um getting to sing Florita del Alma, having the opportunity to sing, Delante de mí, Por una
Hmm.
mujer bonita, stuff like that, songs that I've always played, like pretty much my entire life. Now I get to sing them. Now I get to connect with people, bro. Like it's crazy what singers go through. Like honestly, bro. Like you think play tambora is got balls, bro? Nah, bro. Wait, like sing and make eye contact with somebody and jam with somebody is a
Hmm.
whole different deal, bro.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
intense.
crazy, bro. It's the
Hmm.
connection, like your voice, and it's just it's crazy, bro. Like
Hmm.
different feeling, bro. It's a different
And
connection.
talking about that, the most recent song that I really like. Well, I was really happy when I saw Las Isabeles, but Como Tu Querer, bro, that song is bad. Like,
Yep.
how did you how did you get how do you get like which rancheras do you know I can add my style to that one?
You know what? We've always looked into catchy songs.
Hmm.
That
That one's
that's
a good one.
that's been our formula, bro. Like
Hmm.
like some people are like, oh, this has a cool song, or this has a cool message, But no, we always look into like catchy
Hmm.
songs that so I and that it has a good rhythm,
Yeah, and it's interesting too because Horoscopos has that song,
Yeah,
pero like with Como Tu Mujer, right?
yeah,
And then
yeah, yeah.
when I heard it, I was like, man, this was like
Yeah, that's
the
a banger,
best.
bro.
That's
That's a
it's
banger.
so.
Classic, bro. Marco Antonio Solis. I mean,
Mhm.
you can never go wrong with those type of composers, bro. Like
Mhm.
hardcore, really talented composers that
Mhm.
thankfully they wrote all these badass songs. Like earlier, we were practicing the song "Sangoloteadito"
Mhm.
by Juan Sebastian.
John Sebastian.
Bro, pay attention, read the words, pay attention to it, bro, and it's like a mind fuck, bro.
Mhm.
But it's like you understand and you get to see Juan Sebastian's style and just like holy shit. Pay attention to it, bro. It's weird, bro. It says a mí este le gustaba la sangolotadito, compadre. Sangolotadito, compadre. I don't know, but it's got a part where it says compadre, and it's just like it's weird, bro. It's weird. I gotta
Mhm.
I gotta I gotta point it out. I
Mhm.
gotta check it out. But those are the types of songs, bro. Like these badass composers and
Mhm.
that thankfully left us, and we
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
yeah,
Thankfully,
bro.
bro.
Honestly, yeah. Like Marco Antonio Solis is a big time. That we're gonna have his songs forever. Like look at
I'm gonna shoot my shot again. You know what song you should do?
what's up?
People probably suggest all the time, right? Do this song, do
Hey,
that song. Yeah, yeah. A song that Alacranes used to do that I heard
ooh,
with Banda Brisa. It's called Por Bien de los Dos.
oh shit.
Bro, that song is so. You guys, bro, you guys would if you do the same thing with that one as as Como Tu Querer. I feel like that one would be a banger, bro. Like
Which one's that?
Nada gano por quererte.
Oh, okay.
Ta, ta, ra, ta, te quiero. I think Marco Antonio Solis wrote that one, no? Yeah. Tú
I
debes
don't
volver. por bien de lo. That bro, I love that. Well,
Yeah, like
with Alacranes, I didn't really like it, and then I heard Banda. I think Banda Brisas de Michoacán. It's not really a big band, but they played that song bad, bro, and I feel like that's right up your style. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
if you would play a song like that, like I don't know, cause I feel like Escuela de Rancho too, like you said, like you play corridos and stuff, but like you guys are, I feel like you guys are like a family band, right?
Yeah,
Because like you go and play, and like families like you said, families they want to dance,
yeah.
and they want to dance to the songs that they grew up with,
Yep.
right? And you like
That's a good point.
yeah, and you're a good animador or whatever, and
Uh,
and families like that, like they need a little push, like come on dance, whatever,
yeah,
like se hacen de rogar a little bit, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So like that's what I like about like uh Escuela de Rancho, and like that's why like I've sent you videos, like my kid, he's dancing to it,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's cool, bro. So like yeah, I guess let's just end with like what are your plans for Escuela de Rancho, and then I want to ask you about one of your Instagram posts, and then let's talk about your anniversary. So what's your vision for Escuela de Rancho? Like the next, you've been at it 10 years, right?
Well, today, technically, today the podcast is being released today, the 19th. Is
It's gonna
that
be released the 19th. That's correct.
is our birthday, bro? Happy birthday,
hmm Happy birthday, EDR. I'm
happy
glad
birthday,
you exist. I'm super glad that EDR
bro.
exists. Super,
If you're
bro.
glad, how do you think I feel, bro?
I
Like
don't know.
it's been 10 years, bro. Honestly,
hmm
man, it's been 10 years of crazy, crazy, crazy stories and just experiences that we've been through. Thankfully, bro, the
hmm
whole situation with Primo, like we
Oh
were with
man.
Primo like the last the last couple years of his life,
Mhm.
and to have gone through everything we did with the whole with Escuela with him is just like it's crazy, bro. Like it's a super blessed, super
Oh, bro,
super
like,
yeah, man, like super grateful that we went through all of that. Hold on, give me one quick second, bro.
yeah, no problem.
That we went through all that with Primo, and just the accident, and then
hmm
a lot of things we signed, we did really well
hmm
with, at the beginning, and even now, bro. Honestly, I'm super excited for what's coming, because I like change, bro. Like I want to change. Like I'm super grateful for Omar, for Hesiel that has been there, most the New York Cats, um, uh, Alan, Primo. He's um he's one of the newer cats now. But he has this story, with Escuela now. So, bro, it's been 10 years of just, you know blessing after blessing. Honestly, bro,
hmm
because um I've always wanted. I had this vision to just have this band, and jam and do well, for it to be a family, and to have, like, I guess you can say, fans or followers. Bro, it's like it's crazy. Like we never thought it would we would be accepted this well, and like I said, I'm super excited for what's coming up, because we want to change it up, bro. We want to change it up. I'm singing now. That's different, super different,
Yeah, you were just talking about that. That's right.
Yeah, bro. I'm starting to sing now. It's well, yeah, I mean, I've been singing for 3 months already. Well, barely. I guess you can say. We're gonna bring in another singer and stuff to help out. Um just to kind of switch up the uh sort of kind of the style, I guess, the sound, not the style, but the
hmm
sound. 'Cause I think the style we're always gonna be ranchero,
hmm
But I'm super excited, bro, for what's coming. I'm super excited to learn, to keep learning, to grow as a singer, to grow as a, as a family, because now the family is growing, and and
Congratulations, right?
oh, yeah,
Your lovely wife. That's
and
man, that's the
yeah,
best.
bro, and super blessed, bro. After this horrible, terrible as year, no, I guess you can say terrible because the whole music industry is just kind of
Mm,
it
mhm.
kind of sucks, and but I mean it is what it is, bro. Honestly, it's terrible, but I'm also grateful because we learned a lot, bro. I learned a lot. One of the one of the bigger things I learned with this pandemic, bro, is is pretty much what's important, bro. Like your health,
Mhm.
your family,
Mhm.
your job.
Mhm.
Those are the three most important things, bro. I think in life. I mean, not necessarily your job, right? But your career, your
The
uh,
way you provide for your family.
right, exactly.
Mhm.
That's a great way to put it. The way we provide for our family, and that's pretty much what I learned from this pandemic, bro. And I did a couple changes in my life.
Mhm.
Not a couple, actually a few. And bro, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to bring out new music. Um, I honestly we have a couple options um uh to do, and we have a couple ideas. We're gonna do the whole Escuelona thing again. Um
Mhm.
um so that's gonna be pretty cool, no?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. If the backup tamborero calls in sick, hit me up, bro.
Well,
If
check this out. I played tambora with Escuelona, and
Mhm.
now that I'm singing, so we are gonna need a tamborero. You know anybody?
I
Stop.
I know a guy, but he doesn't have a lot of hair. I don't know if that's bad for the Escuelona image. That's a cool project too, bro.
Bro, Danny, you know what, bro? I'm obviously I'm a hardcore bandero, bro,
Mhm.
and that is one of my goals and one of my visions, bro, to make a band.
You
So
you can do it. Yeah. Oh,
I'm excited,
when
bro.
my
Now
wife
you
when
know
she
where this is going.
when my wife sees it, she's gonna have a heart attack. She's gonna be like, "You're going back to Banda." So one of the best videos on YouTube, bro. Like sinceramente, like genuinely, is when you guys are. It looks like you guys are in like a mechanic shop, and Primo and Paz Descanse is still alive, right? And you're doing a collab with Arrasadora,
Right.
and you're singing Florita del Alma.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, that when I watched that video, I was showing everybody that video. I was like, look at this, like look at this. Like to me, like it's kind of like you were saying. That to me, bro, was Juan Contreras, Jorge Contreras or whatever, when
Hey,
you were a kid. That's what that was to me. I was like, look at like um when you what do you call it? When it switched from Escuela to Banda
yeah,
and Omar started singing, I was like, man, I was like,
yeah,
that was a mind blown, like
yeah.
to me, bro. So I'm really excited about Banda La Escuelona. I hope like, um, bro, what's his name? El Yaqui and Grupo Firme, like, bro, they started out with a group. Now they got their dedicated like banda. Like
Yeah.
to me, bro, you're just as good as them, and like
Thank you, bro.
to me, bro, like it's like I was saying earlier, like with these old songs, like
Mhm.
the reason I like them is because I feel like they're making music for me, like
Yeah,
you said, like a connection. That's how I feel about Escuela, bro. Like I feel
yeah,
like you guys are making like music for pochos, right? Like like who,
yeah,
and that's so I think that you can, man, like I was
yeah.
wondering about that, so I'm excited to hear about that La Escuelona.
Yeah, I can't wait either, bro. Honestly, it's we're gonna take advantage right now that it's sort of kind of slow with the whole
Hmm.
COVID deal and all that. So we're gonna take advantage and just uh put some effort in some new projects and stuff. So I'm
Hmm.
excited, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited. Honestly, couple changes going on and stuff. So yeah, man. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait for another for another
Yeah.
hopefully 10 years, bro. Honestly, man.
Okay, so I mean, the future of Escuela is looking, from my perspective, and from your perspective, it's looking good with La Escuelona project and with everything you learned with the pandemic. I remember seeing, like you said, we're banderos or whatever. We love banda, And I remember seeing this post. It's from September 3rd, 2020. And it's a couple guys, they're sleeping, and you're the only one awake. And it's got a quote from Cruz Lizarraga. For people who don't know, like Cruz Lizarraga is basically the guy who put Banda on the map, right?
Yeah.
And it says, "No descansaré hasta que mi música se escuche en todos los rincones de la tierra." Like, I really like that post,
Bro.
and it roughly translates to like, I'm not gonna rest until my music is heard in all the corners.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So like why did you post that? Like, what's that mean to you?
Bro, because that's how I feel, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to that, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really look up to Banda is one of my favorite all time favorite band, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And uh I've I guess you can say I've studied Cruz Lizarraga's just career
Mm-hmm.
and his Poncho Lizarraga, which is his son, and just
Mm-hmm.
the way they handle things and the way they work and they everything they've done. I really look up to them, and I really look up to
Mm-hmm.
what Cruz Lizarraga did for Banda, bro. Honestly, bro,
Mm-hmm.
because there was other bandas that were made up before Recodo,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, bro, Cruz Lizarraga, he had the vision,
Mm-hmm.
and he just took it, far, bro. That just took. Well, first of all, Recodo pretty much blew up after Cruz Lizarraga's death,
Mm-hmm.
but Cruz Lizarraga pretty much planted that seed, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he put it
But
like you said. The reason I said he put it on the map is because, like you said, there was other bands, but he had the vision, and so yeah, man, I bro, I think you got the vision. That's just some bald guy and 2 hours away from you, but hopefully, like,
thanks, bro. Yeah, I honestly, I look up to the whole Recodo family and
Mhm.
what they've done to music, bro, to
Yeah,
culture, bro.
yeah,
You know what I mean, like it's like crazy. That's why that's I really like that quote because you gotta work hard, bro.
you
You
gotta
gotta
work
work
hard.
hard.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but
Uh,
you're working hard, and happy
thank,
anniversary.
thank you, bro.
Happy anniversary to another. Cheers to another 10 years with
Cheers
uh
to
with
you, bro.
Escuela with
Hopefully
Escuela
we're
Junior.
around, bro. Sorry, hopefully I'm around. Hopefully you're around and we're
Hmm.
active. Maybe it's another some other the second generation of Escuela de Rancho, right? But we just cool, man. It's cool as long as we keep
Hmm.
jamming, as long as we keep uh putting effort in this brand, bro, because it's become a brand now.
Yeah.
It's honestly it's a brand, and it's super cool where like fans become friends. I say that all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
A lot of our fans, they're friends now. And they're
Hmm.
there, bro. Just like you. I mean, I didn't know you much, but from what you say, you've been there since day one, pretty much.
Hmm.
Because you know, um, you know exactly what we do and stuff. So, um, yeah, man, that's pretty cool, bro. Like honestly, bro, I never thought, like I would sign autographs or
Hmm.
I would meet people that like, hey, well, sometimes like they'll, bro, out of nowhere, like, hey, I know you guys, or you guys played at my sister's wedding, or you guys did this, or
Hmm.
there's always that cool story, bro, or you know what I mean, like, or they'll talk about Omar, and that's cool, bro. Like, even though Omar's not in,
Hmm.
he's not with us anymore, but that's super super badass because he was
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
since day one, bro. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, El Flaco from Recoditos,
great,
solista now, but he was in Los Recoditos multiple times. And
great.
if you look into his story, he tried out for Recodo, and they were like, "We're sorry, like, we don't think that you're a good fit, but there's this other band, Recoditos, and just because he's not part of Recoditos anymore doesn't mean, that he's not part of the family, so to speak, that he's not part of that brand." Like, when people think of El Flaco, they're gonna think of, when Pancho Barraza, like when you mention Pancho Barraza, like you think Recoditos, right? Because he was in there. El Coyote, he was in La Original Banda Limón, right? Like all these, like it's like you said, like you're excited because it's changing, and
Oh,
Omar is always gonna be part of. I mean, I'm always gonna remember Omar with the,
yeah,
the, the EDR bangers, Delante de Mi and
hell yeah.
De Perdida and stuff like that. So.
And that's what's cool, bro. That's what's cool. Like we leave a legacy, I guess you can say.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sort of kind of like says escucha mamón, but it's true, man. It's true. And then thanks for thank the social media
Hmm.
and YouTube and all this. That's hopefully it's gonna all this content is gonna stay there forever, bro.
Yeah.
So
Until it,
like
until
you know
it.
what I mean? So forever you can go into YouTube and check out that video Florita el Alma with Arrasadora. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
that's and just reminisce and it's cool, bro. It's it's a lot of things, a lot of cool things we go through with because of music, bro.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like this is what like Don Cruz Lizarraga dreamed of, right?
Exactly,
Like
bro.
like if the internet would have existed back when, like you don't think he would have been up like uploading videos? He
Yeah,
definitely would have
you know,
been.
been on there, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
that's what it's another reason why I like and I respect Cruz Lizarraga is because um he always had a vision, a bigger vision for Recodo. And he always wanted to be different. That's why I respect him too because back in the 70s and the 60s
Hmm.
where when swing music was popular over here in the states, he did that with Recodo.
La Perla
When
Azul.
Perla Azul, exactly.
Hmm.
And back in the day, it was weird.
Hmm.
It was cool. It was weird for bandas or grupos musicales mexicanos that would play swing, bro. And he did that. He was
Hmm.
that dude way. He was that gangster that was like, nah, let's do this. Let's
Hmm.
let's, let's play a swing. Let's play. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean it goes back to what we were saying. He did at the time what like Duranguense did in the early 2000s, right? Because like it's like you said, like I mean Tecateando is kind of swing, right?
yeah,
Da,
swing.
da, 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 da.
It's a swing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like at the time people were like, like no, like let him do his little thing. Like it's a what do you call it? It's nomás es la moda,
Yeah.
and then they don't realize that, you know what I mean? So that's a great point.
Yeah. And then check this out. Now after years later, do you remember when Recodo started doing the merengue deal? The merengues? Do you
Mhm,
remember?
mhm, 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 like that, like those kinds
Yeah,
of.
that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Bro, all these bands and everybody just jumped on the bandwagon.
Mhm,
They were criticized a lot because que dejaron they wouldn't play the ranchero stuff anymore
mhm,
or whatnot. But I don't know about you, but I think it was a smart move and it was a cool move, bro. Like where bandas would play merengue and not only that, bro. It's like I said, like all these other bands want to do it too, bro.
mhm.
Arroyoala jumped on the bandwagon, who was popular back then. Forgot, but it's just they get the ball rolling, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's why I respect Recodo and the whole Lizarraga
Mhm.
legacy, bro. Badass.
Yeah, that's a great story behind that. So I mean, you have a larger platform than I do, but if anybody is not, familiar with you, like how can people connect with you?
You can follow us at Facebook and Instagram at Escuela de Rancho.
Mhm.
Uh, Twitter as well, Escuela de Rancho. YouTube will be Escuela de Rancho as well. What else? We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Hopefully soon within this year, bro, we get to start our podcast as well. So that'll be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I can't wait.
Gotta
I
jump
can't
on it,
wait for
bro.
that.
We gotta
Huh?
jump on it. We
If you
gotta
want
jump
me
on
to, I'll like I don't. We've never talked before. I mean, I don't know. I had a great time. I hope you did,
it. Oh, yeah.
as well. But yeah, I love talking about this stuff. before we did the podcast and we were texting, like I said, back when I was my first semester of community college, when I
Mhm.
had speech class, they had an introductory speech. I talked about banda, bro.
Hell yeah.
I went in there and I was like you guys don't know about this, but I talked about Cruz Lizarraga and everything and where it came from. I was like, it's called Banda Sinaloense because that's where it originated from. And oh, bro, and when I was in the tamborazo, I played at my school's talent show.
No way.
Yeah, and I told them about that and everything. Like I what do you call it? Because it's like you said, bro, like passion, right? Like I was the only one that went to that school,
Right.
and they were like, well, we want kids that go here, and I was like, but come on, like nobody's gonna do anything like this. Like they don't know, they've never like heard this kind of like music. It'll be cool. Y así, bro, like se me hace que lo hice bolas y like lo molesté like until he was like, fine, 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 because I was and the only other like they were older guys, so like the only other guy went to a different high school. So I was like literally there's a YouTube video of it. I'm gonna send it to you, and yeah, bro, like I love talking about that stuff. So I would be honored to be on the EDR podcast
Yeah,
too.
for sure, bro. We'll invite you and we'll continue this nerd talk, bro. About music, bro. But bro, it's super cool, bro, to connect with you and to chit chat about this these nerdy stuff about music, bro, because it's super, man. I mean,
Hmm.
I know you love music and you have the passion and you understand, bro.
Hmm.
You've been there, and that's badass, bro.
Hmm.
Badass.
All right. So before we sign off, like, mándale saludos a mi familia. Like, they're familia Sanchez, familia Flores. Um, I got family over in Vegas. My primo Cheo, my tia Chuya. I got family.
Ah, no, ya está
Just.
para la familia. Saludos para la familia Sánchez, para la familia Flores. Where are you from, bro? Are you from?
My mom's family is from El Arenal, Durango,
Oh shit,
and
I'm from Durango, bro.
yeah, and my wife's family is from El Sape, Durango.
Oh shoot.
Um, and then my dad's side of the family is from Mascota, Jalisco.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
When you
so
said,
yeah.
when you said, hey, when you said la familia Primo Cheo from Las Vegas, I knew that was the flag. That was a red flag from and I knew you were from Durango, bro. Somebody, only people from Durango know people or somebody named Cheo.
That's
Cheo.
bro, that's so funny. That's
So
so
Durango,
funny,
¿verdad?
bro. Yeah,
No, pues
but
saludos a la familia Flores, a la familia Sánchez, a toda la gente de Las Vegas, Nevada. Saludos, amigos por Rancho, compa Dani. Oye,
thank you so much, Rob.
bro,
God bless what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to keep talking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
have a good night, bro.
All right, bro. You too.
For sure.